Yes.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of the Whiskey 6. It's Brian from Bourbon School. My co-host is right down there, Lauren. Good to see everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Looks like we have a pretty good crowd to start off, and that makes sense. We have an awesome couple of guests tonight. Before we get to our guests, let's go right around and just have everybody say hello. Ben, go.
What's going on, everybody? Good to see everyone. Happy to be here again. Looking forward to it.
So Myron, good evening. How are you, sir?
Right. Doing great. Glad to see everyone again. Ben, check your mic. Sounds like it's echoing. Maybe your mic isn't on. Maybe the camera's.
Yeah. You sound far away.
Little distant. Yeah.
It helps if you actually connect it to your lapel.
There you go.
That is an inside.
Sorry about that. This is a hell of a start to this show. We got to get the.
We're doing great.
That is the stuff.
Yeah, we're doing awesome.
From some whiskey tube insiders like us. That's a pro tip right there. And Sean, Whiskey Wars, how are you tonight, sir?
Yeah, good. Cheers, everybody. Also, emails are hard, so yeah.
It is. It's only like a 30-year-old.
To the bottom.
Yeah, it's only a 30-year-old technology. It's hard to master. And and our friend Bobby from Bad Axe Bourbon, what is up, sir?
What's up? Let's get started, people! Whoa!
All
So
right.
much energy.
Yeah! Get this
Bobby's fired up.
He is
fired
ready.
up.
Is this better, by the way, now?
Yeah.
Way better.
Yes, much better.
100%. Yes. All right. So, guys, we got a great show tonight. We got some great things to talk about and some absolutely fantastic guests to talk about it with. So we're not going to waste any more time. Let's bring them in from Whiskey Row, from Beyond the Row, from Dog Row, from a bunch of other channels.
All of the
David
road.
and Jamie.
No,
how
nobody
you guys
ever
doing?
mentions Dog Bro.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Here's
Jamie,
David.
how you still
See you
waiting
guys.
for Duck Row?
Right on.
How are you guys tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Happy to do it. Thank you so much for inviting us. Appreciate y'all making space for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just now, I have a little question, Jamie. It says tomorrow is a birthday stream. Is it your birthday tomorrow?
It's my birthday.
Yep.
I'm turning 25.
I was going to say
okay.
25. It's Matt.
Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday
Perfect.
to you.
Not a day over 25, okay?
I was going to say
Absolutely.
35,
Never.
but 25 works.
My wife has turned 25. Let's see, how many times is that? No, never mind. Never
No,
mind. I
I'll be
won't.
46 and I'm proud of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on. Good for you,
Because
lady.
David
Nice.
will always be a year ahead of me. He turned 47 this past
No, I didn't.
last week.
I turned 46. You're turning 45.
Somebody's
You
46 in
pick
this
that up.
scenario.
No,
right?
Jamie's turning 45 tomorrow. I
Awesome.
turned 46 a couple days ago.
Right on,
Nice.
man. Happy birthday.
You just can't.
Oh my
you
God.
can't break away
Happy
from
birthday.
that number. It's okay.
I know. Oh, geez.
So, David and Jamie, I know
Here we go.
most everybody here watching knows all about your channel, but will you just tell us a little bit about yourselves, how you guys got into the Whiskey Tube thing, a little bit about your channel?
Sure thing. So I started doing videos during COVID. COVID started, and we got married the summer after COVID started in August.
Okay.
And then we moved in together and into this location. And we had this weird, creepy basement room that was full of like old construction materials. And I was like, I'm going to clean that out and put whiskey in there.
Nice.
And so I cleaned it out, built the speakeasy as it is. And
Do you want me to pick up from there?
Yeah,
And-
sure.
And he did all that, and then he came to me and said, "I'm going to start a YouTube channel." And I'm like, "Okay, David. Like, good luck with that."
that patronizing wife of like, sure, hon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds good.
I'm supportive of you. Go ahead.
I feel like
So,
that's something we can all relate to.
Yeah.
What day in August did you guys get married?
what was that?
What day in August?
22nd.
Oh, okay.
My wife and I are the 28th.
Oh, right on.
We're the
It's a
28th.
hot
That's why we
month.
said August.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're not that far apart.
Yeah. And we're coming up on 4 years. So
Well, congratulations.
yeah, started the channel in November, and so it'll be 4 years in November for the channel and 4 years in August for the marriage.
Yeah.
Not sure which one's
Awesome.
going to last longer. We'll see.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
That way you'll never forget.
the channel's
Well,
getting you,
anniversary coming up.
40,000 subscribers. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats on that, man. 45. or
Thank you. I
40 grand,
appreciate
at
that.
least.
Yeah.
Never ever thought that was going to happen.
No.
It's really awesome.
So
Really
I've had
awesome.
a couple YouTube channels over the years, and it was more of just like I enjoy the creative aspects of it. I like the editing, I like the filming, and I'm normally a huge kind of introvert type of person. In the past, I was at least, and had to grow out of my shell a little bit. And oh man, that's way too big, guys. Way
That's the
too
producer.
big.
That's the
I'm a
producer.
vegan.
I know. I tell
That's what
everybody
she
who
said.
watches it on their TV,
Yeah,
don't.
please don't watch it on the big screen. Put it on your phone so we're smaller people.
4K.
Yeah, not 4K.
Okay, you're watching it on your
Um,
phone somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at-
So,
you're blushing.
well,
too.
it's really big.
That's what she
So
said.
started the channel. Made,
right on time.
yeah, made videos for like what, I don't know, 3-4 months, and then I made a video about, was it alternatives to Blanton's or something, and it just kind of popped.
It just all of a sudden, just like over the weekend, we were actually away on
On a
a
trip,
little
yeah.
weekend trip, and I just remember like David is just like showing me his numbers, and they're just like all of a sudden just like going crazy,
Yeah,
and I'm sitting here like in disbelief, like what?
yeah. I think at that point I was maybe at like 250 subs, and then by the end of the weekend I was at 1,000.
Mm.
Wow.
So it's just like,
That's the dream.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like one random video popped.
One video just
and
like
just got lucky. So,
it was crazy.
I'm
Every
still
time we
waiting for that to
refreshed,
happen.
It was like
yeah. I feel like that's the video that I found you on, David. I'm almost certain. Yeah, because you were right around that mark, the 200-ish mark, and yeah.
That's awesome.
that's
I
interesting.
found him on a workout video.
I
I
love
just,
it.
I just
That was
kidding.
one of my earlier YouTube channels.
I'm just
that didn't,
kidding. Dude. I'm just
pan
kidding.
out.
He was
Is
going to
this-
do axes and bourbon, but you got the idea first. I mean, he was like,
I was literally going to just straight copy you and incorporate axes, and Jamie's like, "Nope, no axes in the speakeasy."
Dude, I want to
I'm
see you get
scared
a
for
full
my
swing.
life.
I want to see you get a full backswing in there.
I know. So straight up from the camera to this wall is about 4 feet.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
This
So
is-
this room,
the
the entire
hallway.
thing is 5 feet wide.
yeah.
Wow.
So
You don't
the
really have any
channel
wind-up
grew,
room
but
back
the
there, then.
speakeasy stayed small with more bottles in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Easy to manage.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I one thing I neglected to do, Lauren, say hello.
Hi.
Lauren. How are you?
I totally like introduced you. I was like, oh, Lauren's down here. And then when we all went around and said hello.
We're all good.
Okay. All right.
No worries.
My lovely co-host Lauren, my lovely producer right over here, Marianne. We're excited. This is gonna be a good show. I'm really excited. Thank you for everybody who's in the chat. We've got 49 people watching right now, which
nice.
for the Whiskey 6 is a pretty good number. So we're happy about that. All right. So we wanted to start off, if you watch the channel or watch the stream, you know that we kind of do a little bit of whiskey and then a little bit of whatever else kind of strikes our fancy. And we come up with topics to talk about. And sometimes they're super interesting. And sometimes there's like maybe just us who are interested in it, but that's okay. We're going to talk about them anyway. So when we were kind of spitballing about things to talk about with bourbon, and I do think this is kind of a relevant, I think a lot of people are starting to buzz about this a little bit as far as when you go on, when you watch a pub or you watch people just kind of talking and chatting, they will bring this up. But I really like the way, Ben, were you the one who came up with the one about the stocks? If bourbon was like a stock, was that you?
Mm-hmm.
You're muted, buddy.
Sorry, I was coughing before. I didn't want to
that's
be in everyone's
okay.
ear. I said, yeah, if you thought it was a good idea, yes, it was me. If you didn't, it was Bobby.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Well, now that Ben has owned up to it, I was not a fan of this idea, but no, I'm kidding. If we treated, so the question is, if we treated bourbon like stocks, like buying and selling stocks, would now be the time to sell? So like we're really talking about, is the bubble really bursting? And I know, David, when we were in our prep meeting, you had talked about how you're kind of a data guy. So maybe you have some data to bring to this. So I'm going to have you maybe get us started with a little bit of perspective on that. And then we'll go to the man with the idea, Ben.
So sure. Yeah. So if you look at least the numbers that I watch, I'm definitely seeing numbers on the secondary market for bottles going down a little bit. For rare bottles, going down. Retail prices are still going up. I mean, that's never going to stop. They're always going to climb retail wise. But the secondary market's gone down just a little bit. And some bottles that normally would fly off the shelves, you're seeing sitting on the shelves. I think channel views across YouTube are down just a little bit for most channels. May not be dramatic, but it's down just a little bit. I think it's hard for newer channels to grow right now with the way it is. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing. If you look at it from an investor standpoint, though, Ben, the way I see it is you want to buy when the market's low, right? If everything's on fire and you buy, then you're buying high. The question is are we at the low, or is there more low to go? Are we going to go lower? I do personally think we're going to go a little bit lower. I don't think the market's ready to correct and start going back up yet. I think we're probably looking at, and I think it's part of it's tied to the economy. Overall, bourbon is an American beverage and very tied to the American economy. I think overall the economy's down a little bit. So until the economy picks back up a little bit, I think the bourbon market's going to kind of stagnate a little bit. So I'm guessing maybe another year, but then I'm buying because that's the low, and you buy at the low, and then we're going to ride the next bourbon wave into 2025. I don't know. I lost track of time. Sorry.
Okay.
I literally had a moment where all the math. You know that part in Hangover when he's at the poker table and the math's flying by his brain. I had that moment right now.
He has that
I have no idea what's going on.
And everything he said, that was my answer too.
There you go. Sounds like Whiskey's doing a job.
But you know what, Jamie? I will say with you've got a channel, a secondary channel. Beyond the Row, that how many subscribers you have on that channel?
We just hit 10K last Thursday
on the live stream.
On the live
stream. I'm going to assume that you. Yeah, nice job. 10K, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So I'm going to assume.
What was that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it's our secondary channel. I mean, obviously Whiskey Row is kind of the primary, and we just kind of come and do blinds on my channel and have fun. I think that's kind of what our
So when I started Whiskey Row, Jamie was not really involved. And then after a while, I was like, could you just set me up some blinds? And I made like 20 or 25 different like 5-way blinds. And I gave her a list. I was like, just pick one of these 25 sets of blinds and pour them for me. So then I'll have no idea what it is. And so then she did that, and she started actually tasting on camera to be funny. And then she started getting into whiskey after that, blah, blah. And over time, then she got to the point where she's like, hey, we should do a video where we do this, and we should do a video where we do this. And I'm like, I don't want to do that for my channel. And she's like, why don't you ever listen to my ideas? And I'm like, I love your ideas. They're great ideas, but I don't want to do it for my channel. And she's like, well, my ideas are valuable. And I'm like, start your own channel. I'll be on it as much as you want. Your ideas, you do the editing, your channel. And she was like, fine, I'll do that.
That
So
kind of is not how it happened.
That's exactly how it happened.
It's not
basis
exact.
was that it was my idea to start the channel, though.
That's all,
It
guys.
was her
It
idea.
was my idea to
She's like, why don't I just start a channel? Because you never let me do what I want to do.
because I
And
had
that's what happened.
I had some
There
good
you go.
ideas, but
They were good ideas.
he
Yeah.
was right. The brand didn't fit his
Good ideas for your channel.
his channel. So,
I
and
will
when
say
I
this,
came on
though.
his channel, we had videos together. Some people loved it, some people hated it. Some people don't want to watch the couples, some people do want to watch the couples. So it was like branching off, I think was it. I do all the editing on my channel. I do most of the ideas. I mean, David will set me up blinds, but and those will be his idea, but I've got to come up with, all the editing. I've got to do the the thumbnails and the work behind it. So, and he does all of his on his channel and I do all of mine. So,
well, it's really nice when I
It's
come
work.
on. Yeah, when I come on Beyond There, it's really nice because I'm the pretty face. I just come on and I drink. That's all I do. It's nice.
That's exactly what I say every time I watch a Beyond the Road video. Exactly.
that's
Yes,
what
Brian.
you're thinking, right?
Yeah, thank God
Exactly.
David's there to pretty it up. Yeah.
He
So-
really does come on my channel and he like
Oh, I have fun. I'm sitting here slouching.
slouching and I have to tell
I'm
him
making
to get up.
jokes that she has to edit out that are completely inappropriate for YouTube.
I love
All
it.
kinds of stuff. It's good.
So just making more work for you then, Jamie, is really
Yeah, it's like
Right.
55 minutes of editing, and sometimes I'll like videotape it from my phone and send it
true.
to him and be like, "What is this?" Like I have to edit all that stuff out.
I was like, that's comedy gold, Jamie. It's comedy
Yes.
gold.
That one I can't-
That's for Patreon, right? It's for Patreon.
yeah.
No, it's not even
Exactly.
Patreon worthy.
Anyone that
some
does
of it,
this,
it's
all
gotta
of us
come.
on the screen here that do this knows that editing is the biggest time suck of this entire process.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that you said, David, that you enjoyed that part. I need to like hire you as my editor. I might do recorded content again.
So
No,
Ben,
I-
sorry, go ahead, David.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I actually, it's weird because I really do like the editing side of it.
Mhm.
I'm a tech background, computer science background is my career. But I'm also into graphic arts. And so the combination I like the editing. I like putting it together. I have a lot of fun when we do promos and I actually get to try to actually put together like
Nice.
different types of things versus what I normally do. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so Ben, you're the one who brought this topic to the table. So obviously you've given it some thought. So where are you on this one?
First of all, David, it is nice to see your pretty face again. Got to meet you for the first time in the private thing. So Jamie, it's nice to meet you.
Hey,
Thank you,
nice to
Ben.
meet you, Ben.
Ben, I'm so used to seeing you on my OnlyFans. It's good to see you in person.
Yeah, it's good with a little more clothing on. Yeah, well, I appreciate you subscribing to both channels. So
It's really only above the eyes.
Yeah. So I think that the question of like if bourbon was stock, would you sell it? Was just kind of like a metaphor for like, is the tipping point in the bourbon boom over? Because people have kind of been talking about that a little bit, and it's definitely noticeable. Kind of like David, how you said like there's bottles that were flying off the shelf before that are sitting there now. I went out and went to some liquor stores over the weekend, and the Woodford Batch Proof, I saw that at like 3 different stores, and I stopped at another one today, and there was 4 of them on the shelf.
Wow.
And a couple of years ago, you couldn't even get those, and they're at $130, which is about MSRP for them. But I think that's with that particular brand, I think that's the problem. It's one of the biggest whiskey brands in the world, and everybody else has a cask strength, but you for less than $100. But
Yeah.
maybe that's
For
why
sure.
they're sitting on the shelves. I think another aspect of it, I agree with you, probably the economy. I hadn't really thought too deeply into that, but you're probably right about that with the things in the economy right now. People are having to choose where they maybe want to spend their money, and some of those high-tier bourbons are probably getting pushed aside.
Yep.
But I think another part of it is maybe less that the bourbon boom is dying, but maybe there's just people are starting to wise up to the fact that there's so many other good products out there besides the ones that you're supposed to hunt, the allocated stuff, that, there's so many other great brands coming out right now, which is a a net good for the whole,
Absolutely.
I guess bourbon
Absolutely.
hobby, if you will. But yeah, I think it's definitely slowed down. I noticed there was definitely a dip in our channel. It seems to be picking back up a little bit now. We did release a few bottles in a row that we kind of knew were like, they're bottles that aren't even made anymore. They're like that Jim Beam Heritage collection. So we did, videos about that and stuff like that. But honestly, and we can maybe talk about this later, but put out a couple bourbon hunting videos and the subscriber count went up again. So I don't.
That's it.
That's right. That's right.
It's a mystery. That one is a mystery to me. I don't get it.
But I don't want to derail into that subject.
Can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
Sean, where are you at on this? What's your feeling on the stock of bourbon?
Well, as I mentioned jokingly when we talked about this subject, if bourbon was a stock, then none of mine has any value because they're all open. But that aside, I do think that there's certainly a downtrend. Funny enough, I actually follow, and maybe some of you do as well, a channel called Whiskey Decisions on Instagram, which actually tracks like the price of the bottle like that. So it actually shows over a certain period of time how much a bottle has gone up or down. And most of them are trending down. Now, as David mentioned, retail prices are pretty well steadily going up, and there's really not much we can do about that. But kind of those rare, more allocated bottles, those seem to be trending down, which is great, as several of us have already mentioned. I mean, if you're a collector, then this is, as David mentioned, probably not the best time to buy because I think we're still going to see a little bit more downtrend going forward. At least I hope so. And plus another aspect outside of the economy and other things we've talked about is that I think people are getting into other spirits more. Tequila seems to really be taking off in a big way, which, good because I don't like it at all. So you can have all of it. Buy all the tequila, stop buying bourbon. That's great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Lauren, where you at? What do you think?
I don't collect any. I just drink my whiskey. So,
good answer, Lauren.
I let Brian and Maria and collect all the bottles, and I just drink them. So I have no thoughts on this.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Bobby, where are you at? You're every day you're putting out what would Bobby buy? So you're obviously buying a lot.
Well,
where are you at?
Well, because I'm doing that, I'm in the grocery stores a lot when I'm not. I'm either at work or I'm in a grocery store or hunting. But as I'm doing that, man, wood chips are everywhere. but as I see that, I see the prices, the everyday prices, MSRP is going up, like David said. Yeah. But also, like he said, those allocated prices are coming down. But so my thought is, at what point do I just say, screw it, I'm just going to start paying these allocated prices? How close do they get? That's what I'm thinking right now. But you mentioned tequila, I'm not saying sell the bourbon yet because it hasn't hit bottom yet. And there's so many, I think either Sean or David or a couple people mentioned it. There's so many good craft distilleries now, and because of us, people are learning about them, and I go, oh crap, how can I get that? And like with Corbin Cash, Rebecca Creek, all these, all these super good bourbons distillers that don't get a chance until they hear about them on our channels. That people are looking for those because they trust us, and at least they can associate with one of our palates at least. And if they're subscribed to us, then they're going to associate those flavors or flavor profiles for the most part with us. So I think that's part of it. I think we're actually causing some of this, to be honest.
I agree, Bobby. I mean, for any of us that run lives, usually most of the focus around topic as far as like whiskey goes is these newer bottles, these newer brands that, because I think a lot of people are kind of in the same point in their whiskey journey as we are. We're a few years in, we kind of know about all the allocated stuff. We know what the deal is with that. We're kind of done with that. And now we're looking for new interesting flavor notes and palates. And that's where you get into these kind of smaller distilleries. And so nobody really cares about the Buffalo Traces anymore because we've had all those and we're kind of done with that. So it's time to move on.
And as I say, let me wrap it up real quick. As I say that, tequila seems to be like the next big thing because now a lot of tequilas, hey, we're finishing them in bourbon barrels. So they're like, okay, so people are hearing bourbon and tequila. and there's a lot of good tequilas out right now. They're going, okay, so tequila can rise up and bourbon can come like this. And like you said, go ahead and buy that tequila. We'll get these dusty old bourbons. And like it's all cyclical. It'll come back around and I'll have the collection I want when it's time to have it. And I wouldn't have paid these allocated prices. That's my thoughts on it.
And Myron, what about you?
It's kind of wild because I think we're all in agreement. So typical shelf prices are going up. Allocated prices seem to be coming down a little bit. Not necessarily in Maryland because some of these guys, man, they basically have museums. I mean, you go in the store, the prices never come down. I have been in a couple of stores lately. One store, he sells Russell's 13 for $9.99 and he will not come down off the price. And I don't know if he just doesn't know that it's never going to sell for $9.99, but I have seen where he's brought the McKenna down from 99 to 75. I've seen where he's brought some of the Elijah Craig down from 89 to 75. There are a lot of good store owners in Maryland, but they're few and far between because there are a lot of guys that just want to rake you over the coals, man. And a lot of those guys don't seem to be dropping the prices. But yeah, I think what's contributing to the prices on the secondary market coming down is because, like Bobby said, it's us. We're doing reviews. We're like, hey, this is actually better than this. Just like David's video blew up, the alternatives to Blanton videos, things like that. Once people sample those hard to get bottles and they say, well, man, this is not as great as a $40 bottle of Blue Note, So it's like, I'm just going to spend $40 and get Blue Note.
Maybe not that one.
Facing these other prices,
You really had to bring up Blue Note, didn't you?
I did.
No, Myron, I think you're totally on point though, because, and I think Bobby and Sean said the same thing, which is there are so many good budget alternatives that are sub $60, sub $70 that are really good whiskey. And so it's like, do you go to the store, try to haggle with somebody to try to talk them down on an Elmer T. Lee, or do you just go get a Bardstown Origin white label?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
It sits there for $45. It's really, really good.
Well, David, you reviewed one today. The Remus 6-year. I mean, $55, right? And it's a good pour.
So,
I was shocked by how good that was. I thought it was the same as the old, what is it, 90, 92, 95 proof Remus.
Yeah.
It was 109 proof, 6-year age state. It was really, really good. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I had to work in a store. I had to work in the store footage as well to get people to click on it. For that bottle. And then it was really a review video. So I kind of tried to trick people up a little bit.
Hey, that was my idea.
That was Jamie's idea.
We were doing grocery pickup from Walmart and the ABC stores next door.
And she's like, you should film in there, grab a bottle, take it home and review it. And I was like,
and that's what he did.
Okay, I'll do it later today.
There's a surprising number of people that don't know what liquor stores look like, and they need help.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, just because you brought up Elmer T. Lee, I don't see that for less than $300 around here.
Yeah,
but of course, this is all about relationships, right? So I have a relationship with a liquor store owner or a grocery store spirits manager. I got it for $28. That's the real price of
that's below retail.
Yep.
Yeah, right. It's for $28. Don't pay $300 for a 90 proof bourbon. Oh my goodness!
No,
crazy.
And that was probably the first unicorn bottle that I bought. That was like, why did I it's good, but it's like
do that with Stag.
Don't go too deep, David. That's one of my rapid fire questions. Don't go too deep.
Sorry.
Because I know how much you like. You've mentioned it on the channel before. How you like the Elmer T. Lee. I'm like Bobby. I didn't get my bottle as cheap as Bobby, but I walked into the store and I hadn't seen one in the store for less than $300. So when I walk in the store and I'm asking the guy, what you got new for me? He's pulling bottles down off the shelf, and I was like, "No, I'm good." And then he was like, "Well, I got this Elmer." I said, "No, I know how much you want for that one." I still overpaid for it. I paid $100 for it, but when he said $100, I was like, "I'll take it."
A third. Maybe if I didn't have one, I want to finish the collection out or something like that. Maybe I do, because that's third of what I always see it for. Maybe I might do it. But.
So in Virginia, it's price controlled. So if I can find an Elmer, it's $60.
Oh,
no,
nice.
40 bucks. Excuse me, $40.
Oh, I was about to say, when did they raise the price?
Yeah, no, it's $40. I saw my first Elmer was $40 in Virginia, BC. My second one, I bought from a guy in DC. Got one from DC, and I paid $200 for it.
Yeah, but the game of Virginia is they email you when it's dropping and you leave everything that you're doing behind and you run like crazy.
Yeah.
You jump in the car, you drive like a mad person, you almost hit people in the parking lot, and then you run into the store just to be number 4 in line and miss all the really good stuff.
By one. Miss it all by one, right?
Just a David-shaped cloud of dust.
I live in Maryland. I live in Maryland, but I work in Virginia. So I'm signed up for the drop. So I get the emails and the text messages, and it is crazy. I just want to do a video just filming the parking lot because it is crazy. The guys start out with like a brisk walk, and then they're
I told David he should
be a great
film.
short.
No, there's going to be a short coming at some point of me in the shower. Throwing clothes on, running to the car, running to the store, and being like 50th in line.
I like it.
Yeah.
To tell people how it feels to live in Virginia.
Myron, where do you live in Maryland, by the way? I'm sorry.
Well, I live in Bryantown, which is just past Waldorf, but I work in Alexandria.
Okay.
So you're not that far from
so
us.
I pretty much shop from Alexandria to Lorton.
Okay, cool. I got you.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Nice.
cool.
Wow.
I think a lot of you are right about the whole, like, we point out craft distilleries or bourbons that are better alternatives to something allocated, and that certainly is hopefully driving down the price of some of those bourbons. I said this in the planning stream, and I don't know if people agree with this or not, but this is my observation in the year that Lauren and I have done this year and a half. We've tried a lot of whiskeys like you all have. And I also wonder if some of the limitations of bourbon, like it's very strict about what can be a bourbon and all that stuff. And there's other spirits, other whiskeys and other spirits that are not governed so strictly. And I wonder if that just because there have been so many bourbons that we've tried where what's the word we say, Lauren? It's what?
Meh.
It's fine. Like, this is fine. Well, and I think there's so many, they kind of become one note after a while. And then, so it's like amazing when you come across one that actually tastes different or has a unique, good flavor profile.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if people who don't explore that deep into bourbon maybe are just drifting to other things, and that could be, affecting sales and what have you. Because Buffalo Trace was almost impossible to find around here. Now, like in the last month, we've had 3 different stores with picks, and they're sitting there. And I know that Buffalo Trace upped their production, so that definitely makes more availability. But the bottom line is, even with all that, they're sitting there. Like, they didn't sell out. And I would expect them around here, because you can't find it, to sell out, and it just doesn't. So I just think, and this might sound kind of cynical or negative, but I don't know if maybe bourbon is as exciting as maybe some other things, because it's very strictly governed about what bourbon can be. But it is still fun. Like, I still love to do it because it's fun to, like, you find that bottle. It's like, whoa, this is so different. This is so unique. I love it. And that's still fun to do because it's rare. I think it's more and more rare every day to find something like that, but it's just my 2 cents.
Hey, cheers, everybody in chat that's been cheersing me. Love you guys.
No.
Hey, what's everybody sipping? We didn't hit that. What's everybody sipping on right now?
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, Brian, we finally reached the inevitable point in the live stream where Brian whips out his 1-foot cock.
Yeah.
Every single live stream, he's just got to flaunt it.
It's
taste like?
It's kind of early.
Yeah.
Early. Marianne did not like it. I like it. It's local. They make their own stuff. They're one of the only ones that make their own beginning to end, and I respect it, and I respect the label.
Local
So.
stuff. I love it.
Brian, I'm glad that I'm not the only one suffering with that. So.
Yeah, he usually waits till later in the night to whip it out.
There,
But
David.
No,
What's everyone in the chat sipping on?
Did they tell you to say that? No, I'm playing.
No, my OnlyFans know the truth.
It looks like Ben's drinking Old Emmer.
Yeah, you make sure you make a video
a
on
little bit of
Old
Old Emmer.
I got this guy right here, the 2-10-90 picks.
Oh,
Truth. All right.
that's
right
all the
on.
talk right now.
Bobby, is that batch like, what is it, 81, 186, 86?
188, peeps. 188.
The Bad X batch.
Bad Axe Bourbon batch.
Heck yeah.
I've seen two. Speaking of the bourbon sitting on shelves, I've seen 2 Joseph Magna cigar blends too. For I think MSRP is like $200, and they were $209. And every time I don't buy it just because it's expensive, but I check the batch because if I find the Bad Axe batch, I will buy it.
Oh, if I found a 188, I'd buy it in a second.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Hey, Brian, just real quick before we move on, just to piggyback off your kind of last comment there. I think a lot of people that got into bourbon during COVID, they were all trying to find the E.H. Taylors and the Blantons and all those kind of things. And I think for a lot of the folks, because they were so focused on that, maybe they never found us. They never found Whiskey Tubes. They didn't hear about the alternatives. And so I imagine they probably got tired of striking out or overpaying. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, well, I'm just going to get into something else.
Yeah.
Because like, this is stupid. And then, who could blame them? If that's all is like, well, you got to get blends because that's the best, then that gets old pretty quick.
Well, and to your point, Sean, I think tequila's having a moment with celebrity tequila too. Like,
oh yeah,
there's a ton of celebrity tequila out there, and I think that attracts the masses.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would agree.
Good.
Absolutely. Although I will say, we just got a store pick. We have a local shop that went to Mexico and did a pick of a tequila, and it was a double oak tequila aged in bourbon barrels. And I got one for 2 of my buddies, and they both said it was phenomenal. So I do think tequila and I've heard other people, like other whiskey tubers, say it like it's definitely up and coming. It seems like the next thing people are going to be after. Oh, chat question.
That's a good question.
What's everyone's thoughts of Four Roses added those new mash bills? Okay, I am a babe in the woods here. I don't know about this. So if somebody knows about this, if you want to talk about it, go for it.
So it's a total of 10, right? Total of 10 they should be coming out with. Two mash bills and 10 wheat streams, something like that. So they end up with a total of 10 different flavor profiles, I guess you could say.
No, they already have that.
Yeah, they've had those.
Two mash bills and the 5 yeast strains or whatever.
Yeah.
So now they're coming up with 2 new actual mash bills, and one of them's like barely illegal bourbon. It's like 40% rye.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the other one is actually a low rye.
They also did have 10 more.
Yeah.
So it'll be 10 more. Yeah, you're correct, Bob.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I may have misunderstood what you meant by that. So yeah, they're coming out with more. So my thing is, as far as being excited about that,
there you go.
I don't know. Are they going to be available?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, right.
Because now, and this kind of pertains to what we were talking about before. I follow Coming Whiskey on Instagram, and it shows all the new labels and stuff. And every time it's something exciting, I'm like, who gives a shit? I'm never going to see it. So and I saw recently they had, and Lauren, I thought about you right away. There's a new Old Granddad. Finally, a new Old Granddad coming out, and it's a 16-year age stated.
Yeah.
What? I didn't see that.
And I was like, oh, awesome. That's going to be great. And then I was just like, yeah, great for the 15 people who actually get a bottle of it. So,
great for somebody else who will actually get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get excited about these things, and then I immediately reality sets in. I'm like, all right, I'll believe it when I see it. If it's available, I'm excited to try them for sure.
Yeah. Although odd that when Ben sees the word Old Granddad, he thinks of Lauren. I don't really get the.
You don't know that Lauren is an Old Granddad booster? It's like her favorite brand.
Oh no, I'm aware.
She's a simp.
I got you, Lauren.
Granddad. David, what were you going to say? I saw you trying to jump in there.
Yeah, so the Four Roses thing, I love Four Roses. I think it's tremendous whiskey. I've always had a question, and I don't mean to hijack this thing, but I would love y'all's opinion. If you've had multiple of the different mash bills that Four Roses does in single barrel format from different stores or whatever, is it the mash bill that makes the difference, or is it just individual barrels? Because I've had barrels of the same mash bill, the same yeast strain, same mash bill,
tomato, right?
different barrels, and the barrels it's just different. And so it's like
It's
you
a
add
combo, I
two
think.
more options, and it's like, to me, it's kind of like, okay, there's 2 more out of 10. There's 12 now or 20 now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it
Put it in
really
the
that
same
much
spot.
different, or does it more matter the barrel and the floor and the rick house?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Do that a comparison with the ones that already exist, and we'll see.
I mean, personally, I'm more of an OE guy rather than OB. But that said, to your point, David, I think they can vary wildly. So, it's hard to say that like one particular. I mean, I do love OESK, which is why I have this one. But that said, I've had some other batches that were great that were not that. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's almost too much. So adding 2 more mash bills and 10 more yeast strains feels like too many. Honestly,
Yeah, it does actually.
yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
I don't really have an opinion because I've only been able to find one. We don't, for some reason, the Four Roses single barrels just don't show up in Minnesota much. So I have one that's great. I don't know what it is. It's OB something or other. But of all the things within bourbon as a whole that I've like nerded out on and gone down the rabbit hole on, I know nothing about. I love Four Roses, but I know nothing about what the letters mean on it. It's kind of like you said earlier, David, like the scene in Hangover with all the numbers. I will say this.
I'm sorry.
Of all the ones that I've had, because I have a bottle myself, but I've had been able to try bottles that a couple of friends have had. I will always buy one they're $100 here, and I like them enough that I'll, regardless of what the letters are, I'll always pick one up if I get an opportunity.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's switch gears here away from whiskey for a little bit. Unfortunately, Ben, the bourbon hunt discussion is going to have to wait until another.
I don't even think that was mine. I don't know.
We'll put it on the June episode agenda for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ben, actually, you are like the idea man this week because this first roundtable topic is all you. So Ben wanted us to dig deep and find what we think.
That's what she said.
What are our
But you know I was thinking that.
criminally underrated movies? So a movie you think is not appreciated, underrated, that maybe is something that is a gem for you that you think other people either think sucks or maybe they just don't know about it, but a criminally underrated movie, and you have to defend it. You have to, you can't just say it's Swingers and then put a period at the end. You've got to talk about why it's a criminally underrated. So I just gave away my answer, but I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Let's start with our idea
right,
man.
Ranger Zero.
Criminally underrated movie. Go.
Okay, so I have 2 of them. One of them you guys may have heard of, and one is a little more obscure. So has anybody on the panel seen, this came out a couple of years ago, it's called The Greatest Beer Run Ever?
No.
Does anybody know what this is about?
I believe I saw the trailer. That's the extent of my knowledge.
I feel like they spilled the beans with the title, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, the title does give it away, but
What's
it's
this about?
So I'll try to. It's actually very interesting, and here's the funny part: it's a true story, and I've literally watched interviews with all of the people that were in it, and all of them confirmed, yes, this is exactly how this happened. And you need to know that before you hear the plot of it. It takes place during the Vietnam War, and in the trailer it shows like there's a bunch of guys sitting around a bar and they're watching like all the protesters and stuff on TV protesting the war. And the bartender, who's like an older guy who was in World War II, was talking about how, if our boys over in Vietnam saw this, it would be demoralizing. And he just kind of casually said, you know what, I'd love to be able to go over there and buy all the guys from the neighborhood who are serving over there, go over there and buy him a beer. And this one kind of drunk loser at the end of the bar is like, I'll do it, I'll bring him beer. And the guy's job was he worked for a shipping company that would just he'd be on shipping boats and go all over the world. And he just asked him, do you have anything going into Vietnam? And they had something going the next week, and he loaded up multiple cases of beer in duffel bags, brought them to Vietnam, and then ended up getting like embedded with like a journalist who took them all through it. Like this dude ends up in combat situations. He's still alive. Like everybody from the movie is still alive except for like one guy, and all of them were confirming like it happened just like the movie shows it. And so it's kind of a comedy at first, and then kind of spoiler alert, it does kind of take a very serious, somewhat dark turn. And there's a lot of commentary on kind of like how the war in Vietnam was presented and how it was reported and stuff like that. And it's just I'm not surprised that nobody's seen it because it just kind of flew under the radar. But I just thought it was a fantastic movie.
When you said the title of it, I was like, oh man. Like
I'm thinking, dude, where's my car?
Yeah.
No, it's...
Yeah, or like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle,
Yeah, I thought it was in it.
But that's nice. There was a lot of purpose behind it. But
oh yeah, it gets very serious. Yeah, it gets extremely serious and it becomes very dramatic. The other one, I'll make this quick, is a movie called Who is Cletus Tout? And it's a great movie. This one nobody's probably ever heard of. I rented it, but this is back in the Blockbuster video days because it had a cool cast and it had a cool cover on the thing. And it's, long story short, it's about a guy who breaks out of prison with this jewel thief. And
what was the name of the movie again? Sorry.
Love you, Liv.
Who is Cletus Tout?
Oh.
And so it starts out with this jewel heist, which is really cool because the guy's a magician and he uses like magic tricks to like pull off this jewel heist. He ends up in prison and they break out together. And so they go to this, kind of mafia related mortician to get fake IDs. And so he assumes the identity of one of the guys who's dead in the morgue. And it turns out the guy whose identity he assumes has a hit out on him by the mob. And so this mob hitman, this isn't a spoiler, this is literally the beginning of the movie. This mob hitman captures him. He's trying to explain, I'm not really Cletus Tout. And the mob hitman is like a real big movie buff. So he's like, all right, well, you got 15 minutes before my guys call and tell me to do you in. He's like, pitch me like you're telling me a story for a movie. And then that becomes the movie. And it's really good. Super underrated.
Nice. Right on. Okay. All right. Those are, I wrote them down. I'm going to look into them.
Those were my picks. What are you talking about?
What?
Did I just get
Somebody, Adam from Major Zero said Big Trouble in Little China. It's a great I think that's got a lot of nerd cred. Like, I don't know if that's underrated. The nerds know on that one. They are aware of that one, but it is a great movie for sure.
Excellent movie.
Myron, grossly criminally underrated movie. Go.
I'm writing these down too.
I want to say Cocaine Bear and
I still haven't seen it. I'm trying to get Jamie to watch it.
I like it.
No, I'm joking. Actually, Cocaine Bear is not the one that I wanted to say. I was just joking. It's actually
I wrote it down anyway.
When I talk about Usual Suspects, it seems like Cocaine Bear was good, but Usual Suspects, it doesn't seem like a lot of people know about that movie that I talk to, at least. And I think that is one of the most underrated amongst my crowd, I guess, ever, because that is one of the best movies I've seen in my life. The way the story rolls out, how you think that Kazatoski is one guy is not, how you think that the main character is more involved than he is. I mean, it's just so filled with so many twists and turns. I thought it was a great movie.
One of the all-time greats. That spun a whole new trend in movies after that movie came out.
That is one of the few movies that made me go like at the end, like, oh my gosh.
And then everybody started trying to do that. Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Absolutely.
I love that one.
Great one. Kevin Spacey.
But I do have another one. The Last Dragon, 1985.
Oh man, Bruce Leroy.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's right, Bruce Leroy. Show enough. Come on, man. You can't tell me that's not a classic. Like that is. You can't tell me that's not a classic.
Show enough.
I completely agree with that one there.
Bruce Leroy.
Bruce Leroy Green.
That's
nice.
Right.
All right, Bobby, you're up, buddy.
Oh, so Mrs. Badax came out and she said, Bruno is very underrated. Just kidding. She couldn't even stay through the whole movie riding the bike and all that stuff. She had to leave. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're out. So not Bruno. Oh my gosh. So I would say Paint Your Wagon. Clint Eastwood fans in here, Paint Your Wagon. This is old school.
My
So
God.
until Gran Torino, that is the only movie that Clint Eastwood actually sang in. He actually sang. He actually sang during the movie during Paint Your Wagon, and Gran Torino. He waited, to the end credits and he started singing. So, and that's actually where my wife got her name. Her parents got her name from that movie.
Oh, interesting. Right. Okay.
I don't think I've seen Paint Your Wagon. Awesome. Okay.
So, also,
I haven't either.
I mean, yeah, Paint Your Wagon. Clint Eastwood. That's old school.
I saw that one in Gary.
So. Another one, maybe it's not I think it's underrated because I work with a bunch of firemen, and when we get together, we're a bunch of idiots, and we laugh at a lot of dumb crap all the time. So Super Troopers, I know people know. Super
I
Troopers.
like that movie too.
Oh yeah, Super Troopers, yeah,
It's awesome.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Wow,
There we go.
Super Troopers got 2 axes. Wow.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
What's
shoot,
that
two
actor?
axes. Stop.
It was really popular in the 80s. Yeah.
That's 5 axes. Super Troopers, man. Super Troopers. 5 axes.
Richardson.
That's nerd cred right there.
Damn.
Man, that is under the radar. I don't know if it's under the radar or not because they made a second one, which was all right. It's hard to follow up a cult following like Super Troopers, but I don't know.
Nice.
How many people have actually seen Super Troopers? If you haven't, you're like absolutely stupid.
I have not.
Oh, you're missing out.
That every firefighter and cop will laugh at.
What happened?
That's it.
That was-
That's firehouse stuff right there. I'm telling you right now, if there was a camera every day in a firehouse, and within 30 seconds, everybody would be fired.
I prefer
If the world got to see it, we'd be done.
Yep.
We're family over there. We'd be done.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all I
Okay.
got.
Awesome. Lauren, you got any?
Yeah, I had 2. So,
Reno,
my
no
first
way.
one is the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Okay.
This was
I want to
Brad
see
Pitt
that. I
movie.
have not seen that.
So you think Brad Pitt, like this is going to be a big movie, but it wasn't. It was pretty small. It's a very slow burn film, and it centers around the guy who eventually shoots. But that was fantastic, and I think not enough people know about it. And my other one is going to be Eastern Promises. This is a Viggo Mortensen film, and I picked it because most people, like you guys, I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but there's an entire scene that takes place in a bathhouse where a man, Viggo Mortensen, is completely butt naked and has a knife fight. And it is the best action. I mean, it was like amazing. It was amazing.
I'm sure it was the action, Lord. I'm sure it was the action.
Just real quality knife
Viggo
fighting.
Mortensen naked in a bathhouse. Lord's like, oh, it was the knife fight I love.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good movie. But
But
You could have watched
seen
John
it.
Wick, and they're
I've
fully
heard that.
clothed.
I've heard that's really good.
It's very
Just to clarify, knife fighting, not sword fighting.
Yes. Was he
my
knife
gosh.
fighting? Was he knife fighting another dude?
Yes.
Then I'm out.
No, it's very masculine.
Hey, Sean, knife fighting versus sword fighting just depends on the guy.
That's true. Yeah. Right.
True.
Circling back to the 1 foot cock thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
David and Jamie, criminally underrated movies for the.
No, so I had a few, but David told me they are not criminally underrated. So
Throw them out.
he
Let's hear 'em.
canceled me out.
I
so
didn't say that.
he-
I said I
Got
didn't.
Yeah.
canceled.
So he
Go ahead.
No, you tell yours.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll go first.
Stand behind you.
I'll go first. So the one that first came to mind for me, it's not necessarily that it was underrated because in its time it was well regarded, but it's been lost to history.
Okay.
And that's Patton.
Okay.
Oh,
Patton
yeah,
is an
Patton's
amazing
great.
movie.
Yeah.
World War II movie about General Patton. it still stands amazing. It's something that most people these days don't watch. It's just so old. But other people put stuff in the chat that I actually wrote down. Snatch, I had written down. Fifth Element, I had written down.
Yeah, Fifth
The
Element.
Little Mermaid you wrote down.
I did not write that one down.
Little Mermaid.
I had to write down Lord of the Rings simply for the fact that the entire trilogy, I think, is the best trilogy in the history of movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bold statement, brother.
The cinematography of it, even today, normally when you look at a movie that was made 20 years ago, it looks like the CGI is like, you can tell, you're like, oh yeah, that's like 20-year-old CGI. Lord of the Rings still looks amazing. The entire movie's amazing. The director's cut's amazing.
Every Christmas. We
Like
watch
Star
all
Wars
three.
with the square around the TIE fighters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
agree, David.
Exactly.
David, you go back and look at some of the Marvel movies from 10 or 12 years ago, and the CGI looks terrible. So
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
And then I think AW said something about the Transformer movies. I love the Transformer movies. He doesn't.
No, I like the first one, but that was about it.
I used to watch it with all the my sons.
I for whatever reason, I love Patton, Lawrence of Arabia. Somebody put Mad World.
Yep.
I grew up with that movie. I love that. Some of
The
those
Big
really
W.
old movies are just awesome.
My series for me, my favorite. I mean, we're going favorites now. Is Band of Brothers. That's my. I could watch.
Oh my
that
god,
every
I'm with
day.
you, Bobby. That is, I love that thing. That is one of the
Fantastic.
greatest
I got that on
miniseries of all
DVD.
time.
Yep.
I got it on DVD as soon as it came out on Blu-ray. I just bought another copy. I'm like, I gotta see what this looks like on Blu-ray. Is the story different? It just looks better. His blood's better.
Major Zero,
Did the Germans win this time?
Yeah, what's going on? Did they change this thing? What's a different ending? What's up?
Major Zero, 100% with you on the last Starfighter. Whenever I was homesick as a kid, I popped that bitch into the Betamax and watched it at least 3 times.
Into the what?
The Betamax, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Oh,
So Jamie, what are yours that David
You're
said
one of
were
those
not
HD
criminally
DVD
underrated?
player guys, right?
Go ahead.
Jamie, what do you got? Let's
Before
hear
you
'em.
do you want to get your pumpkin spice latte and Ugg boots and leggings?
Is this like Bridget Jones' Diary and Last Christmas? And
David just got the look. We all saw it happen.
So
Sean saw it.
Yeah, Pacific too. Yeah,
I'm like
Yeah,
tearing
brother's
up
way
already.
Betamax.
So I had 2 of them, and David didn't approve.
I
didn't
approve.
say a word about it.
One of them. Okay, I'll start with the one that you guys might all relate to, opposed to the other one that this panel may not relate to. I said Shrek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Good one. That's
Great movie. Underrated? I don't know, but it was
watched
awesome.
that last night.
I absolutely love the Shrek movies,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
fair enough.
They're great.
and
not underrated, but yeah.
That was my
well, but it kind of is. Like, David, you don't love the Shrek movies.
I love the Shrek movies.
No, you don't.
That was not the
said
movie
it
you
in
said
the
before.
past.
I will.
No,
I will say I had
That
young
was
kids
coming.
during that time, so I watched the crap out of Shrek movies. So
same.
any bad act was
See,
in the
I
Shrek
love the Shrek movies.
I should not play this game then, because every movie that I say, everybody likes.
You know what,
But-
Jamie? I think you're right about I don't think that Shrek did great at the box office. So
But I also think it
It's
gets
aged
lost
well, though.
behind gets lost behind all the Disney noise. So I think it you could put it in that category for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and the other one I said was The Notebook, but like because they're coming out with all these romantic
love that.
movies, and none of them compare to The Notebook. Like since The Notebook happened, none of the romantic movies
true.
have really
If you're a
compared.
bird, I'm a bird.
Well, it's nice to have a woman's perspective because
Oh, Lauren.
right over here,
Step Brothers.
David, have you even
Laura
seen
went,
The Notebook?
oh yes, and we're like, what's that?
David's like, what's a notebook? What
I
are you
know what you're
about?
talking about, but I don't think I've ever
What?
seen it.
I gotta
I
say,
love that somebody in the chat said Step Brothers. I love Step Brothers.
oh, it's,
Step Brothers, dude,
well,
Step.
I don't know if it's
I like
underrated, but my God,
No,
is
it's not underrated.
So I'm not good
Well,
at this game with
you're-
underrated movies.
Jamie, they're perfectly acceptable in
I'll,
film.
Yeah,
I'll
great
have to
movies.
Google
Great job,
them.
hon.
I'll be back.
I
I'm
will
going to
allow
Google
it.
some.
For sure.
All right, Sean, what do you got for us?
First off, on the Shrek thing, my nephew, that was his favorite movie when he was a baby, and we were watching him all the time. And so I've seen Shrek, I don't even know how many times. So
I love Shrek.
Love Shrek.
Shrek's great.
It is weird to follow up Jamie because she was very lighthearted movies, and mine are not. So I'm gonna start with I feel like Fight Club is underrated. I love that movie so much.
Probably is underrated, yeah.
Get out of town.
Yeah, I love Fight Club.
You can't say they can't talk about Fight Club. It's the first rule.
I mean, it's like when you first see it, like you think that Brad Pitt's a different person, and you don't find it until the very end. That's great, yeah. And then he like shoots himself in the face to like get Brad Pitt out of his head. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And then another one, and maybe even darker than Fight Club. Also, I love Fight Club just real quick because it's anti-government. So there's that. The other thing, though, I was gonna say V for Vendetta because it's kind of similar themed. But I'm gonna go with All Quiet on the Western Front, which is a war movie set in World War I, I believe, right? One or two, either way. Just one of my favorite war movies of all time. Because it doesn't have an happy ending, and war shouldn't. So,
yeah.
Are
you talking?
Did
Sean,
they just do a remake of that?
Old black and white.
No, the remake. It's I believe it's on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Okay, yeah, the newer one on Netflix. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sean, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
And it takes on a German perspective, which you never see.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Here's what I got. I already gave away one of mine. Swingers is my all-time favorite movie. It's like Vince Vaughn before he was Vince Vaughn, Jon Favreau before he was Jon Favreau. Just a bunch of
Skinny
like
Vince
cool dudes in LA picking up chicks.
Before he ruined Star Wars.
I actually thank you. Whoever said that, thank you very much. I'm with you 100%. But I was talking to my son. He was going to a dance and he was going to ask a girl for her Snapchat. And he got her Snapchat, and he said, when should I I want to write to her. I'm like, no, you got to wait. You got to wait at least 2 days. 2 days is kind of money.
Back in the day,
Mom talked him out of
Oh
it.
my God,
And then
the games we did. Oh crap, dude.
And then he got friend zoned, so it didn't work out so well. But
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my
Good
God,
advice,
Brad
Dad.
friend zone.
David almost got friend zoned.
Yeah, she almost friend zoned me.
well, I told him. I said the girl's got a boyfriend in 8th grade. The boyfriend she has in 8th grade probably isn't going to be her boyfriend in 11th grade. So you just be the friend. You be the
play
nice
the long
friend.
game.
Chill in the cut.
That's right.
Yeah, play the
That's
long
right.
game. Yep.
Okay, my second one, and you got to bear with me here. Head of State. Has anybody seen it with Chris Rock?
That's good. That's
I
pretty
think
good.
I have.
It's,
Oh my
I
God.
thought of some other movies that I really love
that
too.
I gotta say, Brian, that is a surprise.
It is so funny. Like that is a movie where every time it is on, I could be like on my way to a job interview and I'd be like, hello, Head of State is on. I got to stay here and watch this. Like every time I am watching Head of State. I love it. I love Tracy Morgan with the stakes dancing when they're getting the votes in Illinois. I love it. It's a great movie. It's hysterical. Head of State. So that's what I got.
I love that you love it.
Hey, Brian.
Has anybody seen Nothing to Lose?
I have
Who's
not.
in that?
It sounds familiar.
Tim
but I don't know.
Robbins?
I think I just thought of an underrated movie.
Okay.
Is Tim Robbins in that?
Tim Robinson, yes. And he thinks his wife
Yeah, I
is
think
cheating on him. And then the whole movie just takes like this. He thinks his wife is cheating on him. So it like nothing matters anymore. And he just like screws up his whole life and then realizes I don't want to spoil the end for anybody. But it's an awesome movie. I love it.
Okay. Nothing.
Brian,
I'm writing this one down.
Brian, before we
Nothing
move,
to lose.
Brian, before we move along, my Head of State is The Departed. I don't care what's happening in life. If The Departed is on, I'm going to watch it till the end.
And
So-
never disappoints.
So good.
After time. Fantastic.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I'm going to pull a Sean. Brian, before we move along, my I wanted to add Den of Thieves in there because I think that's kind of another Kaiser Sose style movie.
Yeah.
And Den of Thieves and
Yeah.
my movie that I have to sit down and watch. Well, two of them. Someone mentioned it in the in the comment section. Well, one for me is Malcolm X, and the second one is what's the one with Andy and he gets locked up in prison?
Oh, Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Great
great.
movie.
That's legit right there.
That's a
Shawshank.
good one.
Absolutely great movie. Yeah, I love it. For sure.
That's one of those ones where anytime it's on, no matter what part of the movie, I'll flip the TV on, no matter where it is in the movie, I'm gonna sit down and watch the rest of it. Same with
Yeah.
Tombstone.
You can
And no, it doesn't matter where in the movie it is, like
Tombstone.
you watch the rest of that.
Also, Goodfellas. I don't care where it's at. I'm watching
Yep.
Goodfellas to the end.
Same. It was just on the other day, and I sat down and had to watch it. Yep, absolutely. All right.
Goodfellas better than The Godfather any day. Sorry. Not
Yeah.
I should have mentioned Hello Kitty Island Adventure a while ago.
Hey,
but
we got Rick in the
uh,
house. What's up, Rick? Cheers, buddy.
Hey, what's up,
You were
Rick?
Googling the
DRC dropped by. He just go, hey, a little gift for you. A
barrel
UHT single barrel.
That's single
Hey,
barrel.
just got a little gift for you.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Nice.
Okay, you come on screen now.
Well, but to be fair, I'm going to try to work the producer, Mr. Bad Axe, in helping me pick some Pantones for my new logo. So I do have like a ulterior.
Yeah.
There you
Well, it could have been just this. So I'm good with that, dude.
You're right.
Hey, brother.
Good point.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, brother.
Nice.
You guys
Hey,
have
go
success.
subscribe to Dirty RC Bar, guys.
Dirty
If you
RC
Bar.
want,
Yeah.
subscribe, Rick, Dirty RC. Awesome.
Also, I'm finding out that I need better friends.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, right.
Oh, your dog should be on my channel.
Bobby, your dog is
He's a
awesome.
hugger.
Dude, Crash is awesome, dude. This dude just wants to be by me. He waits for when I come home from work. He knows when I'm coming home. Gone for a couple of days at a time. Mrs. Bad Axe says he's just waiting there with my slipper in his mouth.
Nice.
Send me clips of it, okay?
I will. She's got clips already. I'll send it to you for sure.
It can go
Bobby's
on
got
Dog
those people
Bro.
on OnlyFans.
And
All right.
Aaron V, The Covenant is great. I agree. Yeah, it's great.
Let's go.
That's a good movie.
Let's get into roundtable number 2, and this could be kind of a quick answer. But we decided to go with concerts. We want to know your best,
Dude,
your worst,
I don't even have
and your
one.
first. All right. So we're gonna go David and Jamie first. So
You want me
best,
to go
worst,
first?
and first concerts.
Why you wearing it?
So
I can say,
best-
hey,
I think was Luke Bryan when we went
Okay.
to the
Luke
concert.
Bryan, yeah.
David doesn't like country, and he just like
I loved
mean,
it. It was an amazing show.
his countryness opened up, and he was dancing and loving it, and just
Nice.
yeah.
He's-
But the music is good. I love it. Let's see. The worst. I love Chicago, but
Okay.
we went to a concert last year, and honestly, like they played probably 3 songs that were back in the day, which made me love Chicago. And they played all this new kind of like music stuff. It was more of like band playing than
It was like a jazz, like just a jazz chill session or something. It
So-
was interesting.
Oh,
I gotta say I was kind of disappointed
It's
in
Bobby
the
Moore
concert.
and it's Bradshaw.
And then my best was, or my first. So when I was younger, my mom used to take us to like country concerts because I lived in North Carolina, and I saw Reba McEntire before she was big. Like she was actually starting for another concert that we had. I think it was like I don't even know the person that we were there to see, but Reba McEntire was like the starting band.
Nice.
Okay.
And that's all I remember. And it was
All right.
on like a
The gimbal turned off.
Indian Ranch was the place that she played first. And it was like we swam all day, and then the concert was when it got dark.
Wow.
Okay.
And it was Reba
Nice. That's
McEntire
awesome.
before she became big.
Awesome.
So Jamie
awesome.
remembers Reba, and then the Boone's Farm kicked in. And doesn't remember anything else.
Well, honestly, I was young, so it was
So
like
the Boone's Farm
Kool-Aid.
kicked in.
It,
Yeah.
it was the Kool-Aid that kicked in. I don't know what was in it, but I was probably like 13.
Right on. Okay. David, do you have different answers, or are you going to agree
Oh yeah,
with
he has
Jamie?
different.
Yeah,
answers.
different answers. My first concert was actually YouTube and Rage Against the Machine at Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina.
Wow.
Awesome.
Nice.
Weird pairing between U2 and Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
I love them both, but and I'm huge fans of both still. But that was my first concert. My worst concert was actually Chicago with Jamie that I took. I bought her for, was it birthday or Valentine's Day?
It was
It was
rough.
rough.
It was rough.
And then my best concert ever was Radiohead in Salt Lake City. Amazing concert.
Right
I
on.
love Radiohead, and that was awesome. Second best was Interpol
Ooh, I love
They-
at a
Interpol.
music hall in Salt Lake as well.
They didn't ask second best.
I know, but I had to say.
Right.
'cause I
No,
love
that's good
Interpol.
though. Nice. All right. Those are great ones. Ben, what about you?
You can jump in. dude.
Best concert was I saw Roger Waters do The Wall twice.
Ooh.
So both times I saw that was the best. The Wall is my favorite album of all time. Pink Floyd's my favorite band of all time.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that was
grew up
a
with
big
that.
deal for me. Worst concert was an opening act. Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony opened up for Insane Clown Posse. And I know you guys most people would say Insane Clown Posse no matter what would be the worst concert, but I'm a fan. But
I'm
Crazy
sorry.
Bone, like I wasn't even a fan, but it was just like he came out on the stage and he was doing fine, but he brought like an entourage out on the stage with them and gave them all microphones. And so it was just a bunch of guys that were just going, yeah, like the whole time. And they weren't even like doing it like between verses where like, like in a rap song, you'll hear the dude in the background be like, yeah, mother, but they were just like doing this over him. So you couldn't even hear, like, I was waiting for him to turn around and be like, would you shut the up with all the yapping back here?
The
And
hype,
it went on for the whole-
hype guys didn't know when to stop.
Exactly. Yeah, they were like the hype guys, and it went on for the whole show, and they were just talking over him the whole time, and it was just terrible. And then my first concert technically was Herman's Hermits with the Guess Who. When I was a young kid, my parents brought me to that. When I was like 10 years old, they wanted to go see these bands, and I was, I just got drug along because I was a kid.
No.
But the first one I ever went to, like of my own accord, was Beastie Boys.
Okay. Wow.
That's
That's
awesome.
a pretty good
Yeah.
first concert, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I was
good one.
banging.
Jamie, you want to say?
Awesome. All right. We've got Sean up next. Sean, what do you got?
Okay. Yeah, I even have a picture to go along with it. So my first is also my worst. And like Ben, this was not by choice. So it's Kansas. And just look at them. Just look at these guys. Their music is as bad as they look. It was awful. I hated every minute of it, but my parents wanted to go see him. I don't know why. I was like, I don't know, I was like 10, I guess. It was, and like I was out on country music for a long time because of that, because of like the country music that my parents exposed me to. Now I like country music, but not that style of country music. But anyway, so that was worst and first. And then my favorite concert of all time was this was back in Orlando. Seven Dust played the New Year's show.
Seven Dust.
At House of Blues, and they rocked it, man. Like, first off, LeJohn is just a hell of a front man, and he was just awesome. And then, like, I got to meet him afterwards, and we like had beers together. It was fantastic. Yeah.
I have a quick question, not to derail this, but Seven Dust was the headliner?
Yes.
So then did they open for themselves as well? Because like literally every metal or rock concert I went to from like 1996 up until the mid 2000s, Seven Dust was always like, my friends and I would joke, it's like Seven Dust is opening again. Like they were like the quintessential opening band for like a decade.
It was Sick Puppies and what was that other band? I'm not going to remember right now, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's some other band that doesn't basically exist anymore because they had like one hit song. And then Seven Dust was the main show, and they played.
Faster Pussycat.
What's that?
Faster Pussycat. How about that?
Mark B's got us all beat. First was Sammy Hagar with Crocus opening act.
Crocus. Oh crap.
There you go. Yeah, Piper John knows what's up. Yeah, House of Blues. That's a great venue. Just by the way, for anybody that's around that area, because you can be really close to the band. Also, I saw a Bullet for My Valentine there. That's probably my second most favorite concert there. Yeah.
There are so many good shows here. Best was Bon Jovi opening up for 38 Special. Judas Priest, Motorhead, Dio. Tom Shanley saw Dio. Jesus.
Fun fact: his death day is like either today or tomorrow. Yeah.
You talking about Dio?
Yeah, anniversary of his death. Yeah, it's today or tomorrow.
ZZ Top. Oh shit, I
Dio.
love the ZZ Top.
We barely knew you, buddy. Myron, what do you got?
My first and best concert, and we said it didn't have to be limited to music. It was actually a comedy concert, and it was the Kings of Comedy. Back when you had Bernie Mac, you had Sid, you had D.L. Hughley, who else? Steve Harvey. I mean, it was incredible, and it was back before it was the Verizon Center. It was when it came to the MCI Center down there in Northwest.
MCI,
and,
that's old school.
Concert, it's a little. I couldn't really call it a concert because it was more of an intimate setting. I took my wife to go see the singer Babyface, and he came through the crowd. And my wife was like, "Oh my God, I got to touch Babyface! I got to touch Babyface!"
Myron, I was just about to say, I'm surprised she went home with you that night.
Yeah.
And Tony.
So that that's the only reason. And I love the guy's music, but that's the only reason why it's the worst. I haven't really been to any like bad concerts.
Cool.
Fun fact on Kings of Comedy, that was actually Steve Harvey's show, but Bernie Mac closed it because he was the best.
Oh yeah, yeah,
man,
absolute
down, in person
Bernie
too,
Mac.
man. It was just incredible.
Gosh, it's been over 10 years since he's been gone now.
Yep.
Man. Wow, Bernie Mac.
Amazing. Bobby, what about you? Best, worst, first?
First, I'll go first. I went to my first concert was at the Cow Palace in Daly City, just south of San Francisco. Was Skid Row and Aerosmith.
Skid Row.
Nice.
Awesome, dude.
Smith, that's awesome.
Dude, it was
Hell
awesome.
yes.
Worst? Yeah, I don't know if I've had a worst. You know what? The worst experience I had was going to that concert because I was a very new driver then. I didn't know how to before internet and all that crap. I'm like, it took me about 4 hours to get somewhere that was about 45 minutes away because I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know how to get there. But that was the worst experience. I haven't had a worse I can't think of a concert that was bad. But best, it literally probably other than Kiss until last week, Kiss, Slaughter, Winger. That actually was a great concert. But Tesla was in there. That was great.
Wow.
Tesla's awesome. But I just literally last week went to Nashville, went to the Grand Ole Opry. We had tickets where we were backstage on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry. You got a little changing room, and the artist came in and saw us. We got to meet Craig Morgan, which is a super cool guy. He's super into the troops. Lost his son, but he re-enlisted into the military to bring people into the as one of those things to bring people in the military. But super cool guy. Probably the experience I had last week was my best experience at a concert at Grand Ole Opry backstage on the stage watching everybody play. It was freaking sweet. Yeah,
when we went to Nashville, you took me to a barrel pick. I would have much rather.
Sorry, David.
He's got David in trouble.
Way to drop the ball on that one, David. Holy cow.
Bucket list.
I still would rather have done the barrel pick than a Grand Ole Opry of anything.
Oh, I would love to do that.
That'll last longer. That'll last longer, right? The barrel pick will last longer.
I'm drinking the barrel pick from there
I
right
was
now.
about to say I'm drinking the barrel pick right now too.
Oh,
it's my favorite out of everything we did from Nashville.
Nice.
So Lauren, what about you? Best, worst, first?
So I grew up in Buffalo area, so I used to see local bands all the time. When I was a teenager, I was really into like metal and emo and screamo, and there's a big band, big if you kind of know, but it's called Every Time I Die.
Yeah.
Very emo, screamo, whatever, metal. So that was my first big concert. I was probably like 15 or 16. Best concert I've been to was probably the Mountain Goats with Bright Eyes. And I really liked Beck and Cage the Elephant. They were really good.
All right.
I don't have a worst experience. Really, I had a hard time thinking about a worst.
That's good.
Anytime they put a rock band in like a place where there's seats, I have trouble with that because I want to move around.
Yeah.
Out. And so I think those are probably my most difficult concerts I've been to. Like I love Death Cab for Cutie, and they had a bad, they played on stage with great acoustics, but you couldn't get up and dance or move around because you're in like seats. I hate that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's mine.
Yeah.
I have to ask, Lauren.
She said
Were,
mountain goats.
were you
That's
a were you
amazing.
a were you a young goth girl then? Is that
Maybe.
Stop calling me out.
curious? Hey, nothing wrong with that.
All right. So for me, I went best would be Johnny Cash. I saw Johnny Cash at Melody Fair,
Wow.
which
What?
is a tiny little. This was when American Recordings came out. Tiny little theater with a revolving stage,
How?
and probably 500 people. It was amazing. It was great. I loved it. They brought
Dude, you
out
could
when
write
they
a
did
book
like the
about
old
that.
97. They brought out the movie screen and you saw the trains crashing. It was great. So Johnny Cash is my best. My worst is Smashing Pumpkins. It was
Really?
Really?
Oh no.
it was like every time they played a song, it was then followed by 20 minutes of just guitar solo. It was
Okay,
terrible.
that's what
Really?
that's what we suffered with Chicago.
can't do
Yeah, but I would have
Yeah.
loved Smashing Pumpkins.
I know.
Oh,
probably
it
would've
was
dealt with
terrible.
too.
Ryan, I'm curious on the Smashing Pumpkins. Like, what time frame was this?
This was Siamese Dream. So
Okay,
All right.
Oh, so way back.
yeah. So yeah, they were
Good Smashing
they
Pumpkins.
were
No.
okay. They were just it was too much of like long solos and not enough
I
of
wish I could have
just
seen like
play
Yeah.
today, my first I think I've said this before on this stream. My first official, like I guess technically, is Barry Manilow. My parents, it was a really screwed up family outing. My parents got to see Barry Manilow,
that explains a lot, Brian.
but I don't count that one. I
Copa
don't count-
Cabana.
Oh my god, he came out on a giant fruit cart in like sparkling.
I'm sure he did.
in San Copacabana, but I don't
Oh my
count
God.
that. So my first real concert, my sister for my 16th birthday got me tickets to David Bowie's Sound and Vision tour, and it was incredible.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like a legend, right? So David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
got to
think-
go from Barry Manilow to something super manly like David Bowie.
Yeah,
gotta
there you
pull
go.
it
Yeah,
back in.
you gotta balance it out. Yeah, for sure.
That's hilarious.
So Brian, I'm sitting there. You're saying Barry Manilow. I'm thinking like, well, before I went to concerts, my mom used to take me to musicals.
Yeah.
So like Phantom of the Opera, Cats. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say U2 and Rage Against the Machine. That's the first.
Good
No.
choice, David.
Now you know my shame, David. Now you know my shame.
I know.
Trying to
I gotta say, I think Tom Stanley has like if I could pick a favorite, Motorhead, Dio, and Iron Maiden. That has to, like, oh my god,
Whoa.
dude, that's
I want that
Yeah.
dog.
That's
Why
amazing.
didn't our dogs do that?
Hey, Jeffrey Wax here. How's it going, buddy?
What's up,
hey,
Jeffrey
What's up,
Wack?
Jack?
What's up, buddy?
Luckily, I've not had a bad concert. Well, you did, but you also said you went and saw Bad Company, so I feel like those are in
That was
contradiction.
a
to
Bad
each
Company concert.
oh come on,
I like
come on, bro.
I wonder if I've never been to the concert, but
All right. Okay. So we have now reached the time of the evening. We're actually running a little long here. That's okay, though. We've reached the time of the evening where we're going to hit some rapid fire questions. So this is rapid fire means you answer. You don't get to explain yourself. You don't get to provide us with context. You just answer the question. Lauren's first. Lauren, what is your question, madam?
Well, your wife told me that I need to go first and also explain why I'm going first.
Oh,
'cause
boy.
You refuse to answer travel. You don't want to ask any travel questions, Brian.
Okay.
She was complaining today about it. I don't
Oh,
know.
boy.
Okay, so what'd you
Go
say?
ahead.
That is a great topic.
Oh, okay. I agree because I
Access,
did it.
dude.
I have
Oh,
a travel question. So, if you could revisit one place you've been, where would you revisit?
Okay.
You better answer correctly.
Let's go Ben first.
I've revisited these places a couple of times, but like I'm a big fan of like Yosemite National Park, Zion National Park.
Love it.
I did go to the pyramids in Egypt one time, and I would love to do that again.
Cool.
Oh, that's
There's
awesome.
gonna be an eclipse in Egypt in like 3 years.
Clips in Egypt in 3 years. All right,
What?
Myron, where do you want to go? Where do you want to revisit?
The wife and I, we really loved the Bahia Principe in Jamaica. It was in Queen Anne's Parish. Just loved it. Loved it. It was beautiful.
All right. Sean, what about you?
Dominica, not Dominican Republic, but Dominica.
I did scuba diving there and it was
Yeah.
awesome.
First off, there's like nothing there, which I love. There's so few people, and it's just forest. And also, there's this great little spot where there's like this grotto with the waterfall that spills in, and like these local ladies just serve you fruit. It was awesome.
I've been there, Sean. It is awesome.
Yeah.
Dominica.
Okay. All right, David and Jamie, somewhere you want to revisit?
So I would say Oregon. I went to, so I like to visit lighthouses in different places.
Oh yeah,
And
Oregon's
stop
great for
laughing,
that.
David. So there's a
Great for that,
lighthouse in
though.
Oregon
David.
that was, if you know the horror movie The Ring,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
it
yeah,
has that lighthouse. It's off of a cliff and it's beautiful, but all the lighthouses we went to were closed, so we couldn't climb them.
COVID.
I would love to go back to the Oregon lighthouse
lighthouse in Oregon.
that was from The Ring and climb it and be at the top. So
Okay.
All right.
Places I'd love to go again. So a lot of places I've wanted to go, I haven't. It was before Jamie, so I'd want to take her there, kind of thing.
sure.
So I'd probably say London.
Okay.
Oh,
England.
Sure. I'll go.
Yeah,
London.
I love the old cathedrals.
Baby.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm a sucker for the old architecture, so I'd love to take
yeah.
Jamie experience that.
Cool.
Sure.
And then Bobby?
So probably I'd like to go back to Italy because when I was in the military, got out of the Air Force, went to the Air National Guard, and 2 weeks a year, that thing. I had to spend 2 weeks. I had to spend my 2 weeks in Italy. It was crazy. So, but went to Florence and Venice and all that stuff. But it was only there for 2 weeks, and I was a firefighter in the Air Force, so we had to do that stuff. Took a red eye to a bullet train to Rome. Incredible. Went to the Vatican. That is absolutely stunning. So my wife hasn't been. Mrs. Bad Axe hasn't been there. And here's the caveat: Baby Bad Axe, he's almost got about a month left of a fire academy for the Air Force. His first base is going to be Aviano in Italy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we got at least he'll be there for probably 3 years. We got at least once a year. We're going to Italy, so
There you go.
we're
Yeah.
gonna go check it out. Get her there.
Yeah.
I want you to bring the dog, and I want you to hold the dog in front of all of like the.
Yeah, I will.
The dog is
I'll
awesome.
do this.
You're hugging the dog in front of
The Leaning
everything.
Tower.
I will. I'll
I
take
wanna
a
be the
picture like
first to make
this.
a YouTube video of that.
I'll take a picture with him like this. I'll just put that everywhere we are.
So, Rick, how about you give us one? Where's somewhere you've been you want to go again?
Well, I haven't been there, but I want to go to Santorini, Greece.
Okay.
So if it's a repeat, then that's not a repeat. That's a destination. But
Yeah.
a repeat probably for us, believe it or not, it sounds simple, but Hawaii. I never really vacationed much when I was
Right on.
younger, and whenever I met my wife and we, got together, we went on some vacations. We did the best time in Hawaii. We did, the Big Island. We did Maui. I'd like to go see
Pearl
Kauai
Harbor?
because I heard it's super tropical and there's like Sean says, there's nobody around.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
that's kind of my thought. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, man.
Cool. I think I would be Yellowstone. Like, we took a trip during COVID out west and went to Yellowstone, Grand Teton, and Rocky Mountain National Park, and I would love to go out there again and just spend like weeks there. It was fantastic. I loved it. Okay, let's do a couple more because we're running kind of long here. So, David and Jamie, do you have a rapid fire question for us?
Yes, I do. And what is your number one bucket list? I feel like we kind of talked about already, like a place that you would go back or go to. But I said bucket list stuff. Like your number one, like what's on the bucket?
Okay. Let's go. So I'm going to go like next to me and then we'll go right around again. So
All right. Ben,
we'll
you're
start
up.
with Ben. Go.
I saw a video of this place in Tahiti. Is it Tahiti or Bora Bora? One of those places way down there. And it was like a swimming with humpback whales. Like apparently humpback whales are just prevalent down there. And you can watch videos of people that go out on tours and then they're just like snorkeling and stuff and literally just swimming with humpback whales all
Like
around them.
jumping
And
on
ever
little
since I
live
saw
whales.
that, I'm like, dude, someday.
Nice.
That's what I want to do.
All right. Myron, what about you? Number one bucket list item.
Number one bucket list item: skydiving. I've always wanted to do it.
Wow, that's scary.
I've always wanted to do.
That's big balls, my friend.
I want to go.
Well, you've got the 1 foot. We're
That's
not
what
going to
she
go
said.
there.
Yeah.
I would,
We
I would
compliment
do
each other
skydiving
perfectly.
if David just pushed me. But like other than that, I couldn't just jump by myself. He would have to push me.
Yeah, for sure.
I
We
would
all
do it.
love to push our wives out of a plane sometimes.
Sean, what about you, sir?
I would like to do a hunt on Kodiak Island in Alaska.
Oh, right
Nice.
on. That would be awesome.
Hunt on Kodiak. Oh,
I'll go with
Okay,
Sean.
Alaska.
Lauren, do you have one?
Well, I want to be a member of the Mile High Club. And then after that,
That's what I'm talking about. That was the best answer.
Bravo, Warren.
Lauren, you totally stole my answer.
after
That's
that,
great.
I would say I would love to go on a safari in Africa and
Ooh.
see all the
Okay.
animals before they're all dead.
Do you want to
Play your cards right. You can get both of those
elephants
done on the
and
same
walk
trip.
through the
Yeah,
safari?
I see you, Ben.
Totally do that.
You know, you could the first thing you could do coming and going, and also whatever.
Two birds, one stone.
There you go.
You be a two-time inductee and go on a safari. Bobby, what do you say?
Yeah, you know what? Bucket list stuff. I think I want to. I always see those cool commercials about going to Atlantis, right? And they have that cool water slide that goes through where all the sharks are. I think I want to do that.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
it's beautiful there. Yeah.
In
I'll go
Nassau,
around.
yeah.
And
It's
I want to
beautiful.
drive an Indy car in Dubai.
I think I changed my first one. I want to do
Awesome.
that.
Nice.
Indy car in Dubai and the water slide tube that goes through where the sharks are.
Okay.
Also, Bobby, in Dubai, you could just like drive a Toyota Camry really fast. Nobody cares there.
Absolutely.
Hey, I've been to Kuwait. You can do that anywhere in Kuwait too. I think it's a country, that area type of thing. They'll drive.
Yeah.
They'll make a 1-lane road, a 4-lane road, going just wherever.
There you go.
So mine.
Hey,
has
Lauren,
always-
if
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I
Ben.
was just gonna say. Side note: if you go to Las Vegas, there's a company that it's like a private plane, and they offer different packages, and they have like a private area in the back where you're able to get that done.
The company
I-
name there.
I love how much Ben knows about this.
Yeah.
Ben's research.
It costs like $1,000.
Yeah. He's
That's
done
awesome.
extensive research.
You
Yeah.
convinced me.
Mine has always been to go to Ireland, and my lovely wife is making that happen this year. I'm going for my 50th this year, so
Okay.
Oh, that's
August.
awesome.
Nice.
I will be in Dublin on my 50th birthday this year. So very,
And
very
that
excited
would
about
be
it.
a place I'd go back to, Brian.
Yeah,
It is awesome.
nice. Yeah, I'll have to pick your brain for some info for sure. So, David and JB,
was
what is your
basic.
number one bucket list?
Oh. So don't do that. You go first because
All right,
That
my
was
number
my
one bucket
question.
list. I had an answer, but then Lauren messed me up. Now I want to say the Mile High Club too. No, my number one bucket list. I would love to go to Budapest, Hungary.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay,
Interesting.
all right.
Yep, I've heard it's like.
I've heard
an
that's
act-
amazing.
I've heard it's amazing. A great underrated place, not too expensive. Someday.
Okay.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle went there, and they said it was amazing, and it's extremely cheap.
Yeah,
And it's just apparently it's a beautiful city.
that's what I've heard. I would love to go there.
so one of my bucket list was if I go to like a Fenway Park Red Sox game, and David actually took me to one. So like I crossed that off my bucket list. But my other one is to go to the tallest lighthouse in the world.
Where is that?
Good question.
I have my homework set out for me, Lauren.
I don't think that's possible though.
She was so quick with that answer too. Good question.
I didn't know the rapid fire question
So-
was going to come back at me.
So
Yeah.
there are some lighthouses in Europe, in England, where you can actually stay the night at the lighthouse.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
that would be
say,
cool.
like
Supposed to be
Scotland,
haunted, isn't
maybe?
it?
Okay, interesting.
Is it a mile high, David? Is it a mile high?
It's not a mile high.
Ah,
Book
could have
it.
got
Book
the
it
double,
now.
the double
But you
bubble.
could actually spend the
Several
night at a
hundred-
lighthouse. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pick two more.
Okay.
Let's do Myron, because Myron, you gave us a little foreshadowing on yours. So what is your rapid fire question, sir?
Oh, rapid fire, and I guess we'll have to start with David because David is an Elmer T. Lee fan. Do you really like Elmer T. Lee as much as you proclaim, sir? Because I can't believe it.
Wait, was that for David?
So Elmer
Yeah.
T. Lee, yay or nay?
It's gonna go
Can I
around.
answer for him?
So Elmer T. Lee is a delicious $40 whiskey.
$40 whiskey, but don't pay more
For
than $60.
$100,
No,
$200,
Okay.
$400,
it's not. There's not enough. there.
$40. It's the best $40 whiskey you're ever gonna find.
Okay.
Oh wow!
It's too
Okay.
low proof. There's not enough there. I would spend my money.
It's
on
better than
Oh, wait,
Eagle Rare,
That was your question.
but
Okay.
it's-
Oh, for sure, better than Eagle Rare.
100%.
I don't even like
I would
Eagle
do
Rare.
E.H. Taylor
some
before I
store
did
picks will
Elmer T.
probably-
Lee again.
some store
That's
picks
more
of
than
Eagle Rare I like,
$40.
but
I know, but
Eagle
if
Rare,
So Bobby, where are you in this? Elmer T. Lee, yay or nay?
I'll go. I do like it. I'll go yay, but it's a nice warm up pour for Rock Hill Farms,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Which is a nice warm up pour for real whiskey.
Sean,
What
Elmer
I'm
T.
gonna
Lee.
say is
Shots
I'm not
fired.
paying stupid prices for it. But if you get it for MSRP,
for the
all right.
for the hype of it, it's stupid.
Yeah, hype for sure. It's not worth the hype. That is absolutely correct.
We just did the warm up pour at my house on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Just did that.
Just make sure you come back to me, Brian, so I can get my answer.
I will. Sean, Elmer T. Lee, yay or nay?
Kind of a nay. So I see your Elmer T. Lee. I'm going to raise you a Cooper's Craft 100. I think that's the best bottle under 40.
I
Okay.
love Cooper's
Nope,
Craft.
David says no. He's out. He's out on it.
I will say I've never had Elmer T. Lee, so I cannot answer this question. But my best under $40 whiskey right now that I'm really enjoying is probably Green River Bourbon.
Okay.
Brian, we're gonna send you a sample of Elmer T. Lee because that's what we do. If you haven't
Okay.
had one,
All right.
And so am I, Brian, because they're single barrels. So I gotta know.
Okay. All right. Ben, Elmer T. Lee, yay or nay?
Nay, I wasn't terribly impressed with it. Get yourself a Evan Williams 1783 for
Okay.
half the price.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
I just
All
thought,
right.
I mean, maybe it was our barrel, but I just the one, and I've only had it the one or two times. It was the same bottle, but I thought it was very, very basic. I just didn't see anything special about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one problem with Ben's pick. There seems to be a hole in these bottles. They just I don't know what happens. They just I
Can't
don't
keep
know.
them full, right?
Yeah, this one came empty, I think. Yeah.
That's what she said.
I
Yeah.
finished at my
Well,
dad's
no.
and I put
No.
it on his bottle of 1783.
Adam, just so we're clear, Blue Note is Green River, and so
Yes.
and it's dog shit. But Green River,
I
just
like Blue Note.
the
Though.
Green River label with that horseshoe shaped bottle. I
Yeah,
have
I
had
love it.
4 bottles. I've had a single
It's
barrel,
great,
the
actually.
weeded, the regular, and the rye. They are all phenomenal, and they're $35 a piece. I don't think you can beat it right now. All right, Myron. Lauren,
That's
have
what
you
she
had Elmer
said.
T. Lee?
No,
You're not in charge.
No. So Lauren hasn't had it either. So we'll go right to Myron. Myron, Elmer T. Lee, your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you this. So back when you could find it in the store, I bought it off the shelf. A buddy of mine, he was like, "Oh, it's great. You got to get it. You got to get it. Everybody loves it." And this was back around 2013, 14. I just walked in the ABC store, picked it off the shelf, took it home.
Yep.
And it was bad. So I let years go by. And everybody, Virginia started getting the drops again. I couldn't get it and I couldn't get it. And I walked into that store in Maryland, like I was saying, and the guy said 100. I was like, okay, cool. Got it home, did a review on the channel, and hated it again. But they're single barrel. That's why I said, Brian, I've got to send you a single barrel. Maybe you can do a side-by-side comparison.
I'm down. I will take all of the samples people want to send. That's great.
I'd say underwhelming is the word that comes to mind for Elmer.
I agree. Eagle Rare is
Agreed.
better than the Elmer T. Lee.
Oh,
I agree,
Yes,
David.
it is, David.
we
We've
have
had
some
a
controversy
feeling.
here.
Eagle Rare.
Look,
Okay.
David, you got to listen to Jamie because look, Jamie's when you first
Thank you,
started,
Myron.
Jamie.
So
When you first started, Jamie was a beginner. Now she's starting to pick out all of the Buffalo Trace notes, and when she gets that elbow up in the air, you are doomed.
All right, here's the deal.
tonight we did a blind from Tom Shanley, who was on the chat.
Yep.
A Patreon poor, and I picked out 2 bottles from the blind, not exact bottles.
One
but
doesn't even account.
But distilleries. I picked out distilleries.
Oh,
very nice.
So one of them she said was a Bardstown Bourbon Company, but it was actually George Dickel sourced.
But
So she's like, it tastes like Bardstown Bourbon Company. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
But then it was Bardstown for 15 months in a Bardstown barrel.
In a stout barrel.
Thanks,
Okay.
Tom Shanley.
Which
It
was
was
not a
I
Bardstown,
know
it was
which one that is. Yeah.
Yes.
He keeps saying that, but
Anyway, Brian and Lauren, send me your address. Let me send you a sample.
I
of
will.
this.
I will shoot it to you for sure. Okay, so we got time for one more. Who is not given a rapid fire question yet? Sean.
Go ahead, Sean.
and Bobby.
Go ahead, Sean.
All right,
Sorry,
Sean,
Bobby.
go ahead.
Okay. I mean, mine's real simple. Kendrick or Drake, who won?
Oh Jesus, with the Kendrick and Drake.
Kendrick.
I
Okay.
gotta go with K-Dot, man.
Okay.
Kendrick.
I'm gonna go with I know nothing about this, so I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Ben, Bobby,
Kendrick.
David.
Yep.
I've got
said
nothing.
Kendrick,
I
for sure.
literally,
Kendrick.
I don't know a single Kendrick song. I couldn't pick him out of a crowd. I've heard a couple of, I only know the one Drake song, and the only reason I know it's Drake is because somebody told me.
All right. So,
Oh, my son-in-law is in the chat. Jared Internet. That's my son-in-law.
there you go.
Oh,
Kendrick, no
No,
question.
no.
Okay, so I'm totally looking lame right now in front of my son-in-law because I have no idea. I don't know anything about the Drake or
What a
or
loser.
Kendrick beef. So
No.
you know,
That's awesome. All right. Did
Oh,
anybody
zero.
want to weigh in? Myron, Kendrick, did you weigh in?
K-Dot. I said K-Dot. Kendrick all day.
All right. Well, okay. Like I said, I have no dog in this fight. I don't really know, so I can't really give it.
Oh, and Ben, homework, swimming pools. We're going to be all right. King Kunta. Yeah, check them out.
Okay.
what I don't even know what you just said to me. Are those other rappers
Fair
or
enough.
what?
All right. So, folks, we have come to the end of another episode of Whiskey 6. I want to thank David and Jamie. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys were
thank you,
awesome
guys.
Thank you for having us. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you
Anytime.
so much.
Great night.
If you guys are not subscribed to Whiskey Row, I don't know why the hell you're subscribed to us then. But if you're not subscribed to Whiskey Row, go do that. And then all of these channels up here on your screen right now, go give them a subscription. That's Bad Axe Bourbon, that's Whiskey Wars, Bourbon Note, Bourbon Drop, and Bourbon School. That's us, Lauren and I. And
I know Bad
Thank you
Axe is
all.
going to hit you with
It's
the
axe
axe.
time.
yeah, Bad Axe will axe us out. But before we go, we don't have a date
David's
yet for
favorite
June,
channel.
but that'll come out soon. And we'll let you know who our special
I clipped
guest
it,
is.
David. I clipped it. I got it. I got you saying on live stream. I clipped it. I clipped
All
it.
right.
David said I'm his favorite Whiskey Tube channel.
Oh,
Here we go, David.
100%, Bobby.
This is badass
All right.
right
Who can argue that?
all right, guys. Thank you all for
David
watching.
wishes
Have a
he
great
had
night.
the arm strength and the axe strength to do that.
Happy birthday and congratulations on